Hey, folks, it's Dave here, and joining me tonight, well, I have another Dave right
Hey,
over
everybody.
here. And as you
Great to be
guys
here.
know, it's Dave Little, and Dave's the wrestling and the basketball guy here in the community. And he reached out to me and he says, "I want to play some hockey." And I says, "Well, that makes you a good guy. That makes you a good guy. That makes you a face, not a heel."
Yeah, right. So, Dave, what are you playing these days?
So let me see, like overall, or just with hockey.
It doesn't matter what you're playing these days.
Oh, come on. You know,
I
I
had
did
to
that.
tee
I
that
did
one up.
that with I did that with
That,
Ron, and he didn't know what it was, and he was
yeah,
mad at
exactly. I
me.
had to. You're
And
you're
I was,
wasting your best stuff on that jacket, dude. So
oh my gosh, it is.
I
That is
just
my
wanted to get
best
that
stuff.
in. But now go ahead. Thank you and
That
thank
was
you for hanging out.
yeah. The
Thanks for the
setup
hanging.
that was pretty good. You set me up good. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I did that with Ron, and he didn't know what I was talking about. Like, Ron, no, it's wrestling. He's like, huh? I says The Rock.
It's
He's like,
it's
huh?
shtick. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, that was his shtick. He's like, ah. So I actually sent him the video of a whole bunch of times that Rock was like, "It doesn't matter." So now he's not mad at me anymore. But anyway, Steve Tower in the house.
hey, Steve Tower.
It is Dave Squared. It's his favorite tag teams. We're kind of like the well, like who are we like? If we were a tag team, who would we be? Would we be the
I don't. We're like the Bizarro brothers. The same birth date, the same wedding day, the same. We both married, girls named Sharon who are
yeah?
nurses. We're
We
like
yeah, that's one thing.
living these
People, I don't know
parallel
if you
lives.
we've talked about it, but Dave and I both married a Sharon, and we were both born on the same day, not the same year, but the same day. Now, how ironic is that? That's kind of
Yeah,
crazy. That's kind of creepy. And we both have had heart ablations.
yeah.
So hopefully, no more bad things we're going to share.
You're right.
Hopefully, it's
I
all
know,
going to be.
right?
Hopefully, it's all good things from here, as Cleveland baseball fan stops by as well. Um,
You're right.
and Ron McGrath comes by. So actually, let's see. We last night, just what I've been playing real quick. Ron and I were testing out the new season ticket football game. The beta for that. Clay released a beta for that with a whole bunch of seasons and teams to try out, and we had a good time last night. We were playing 78 Oilers and the 78 Raiders. We played about a quarter and a half. And so we're just testing out the game and giving our feedback on the game. And I think it's going to be a fun game once it's finished. So that's one thing we've been playing, and trying to think what else we've been playing here. Well, I have a whole bunch of hockey ready to go for you tonight too. So Dave wants to talk about hockey. I think he's setting up his OnlyFans right now.
No, I pulled up YouTube on my other screen over here so I could see the chat.
Okay.
But if it's all
All
popping
righty.
up on screen, I probably don't need that. So I'll just shut that down. All right, we're good.
All right. Oh, Doug comes by too. Hi, Doug. All righty. So,
Hi, Doug.
what are some of the questions that you have for me before we get going? Before I show you some hockey here, what were some of the questions that you had?
Just kind of your history with hockey, your favorite teams, favorite players, what really, and how closely you still keep up today.
Well, actually, I still play. I'm pretty horrible. I played today though. I got 3 assists today. We lost, but I got 3 assists. So I still play at my old age, which is something to say. I love playing on the tabletop. Yeah, I started with some of the games I'm going to show you tonight is what I started with, and then I get into some of the deeper games like Strat and App, and we'll do that at another time. I would say my favorite hockey game that I play here in the community in Sports Sims, it's the one on the PC. It's Inside the Crease on the PC. It's from Inside Sports Games. I don't like the tabletop version. I like the PC version. I just like that one better. Just like the Inside Blitz football game, I like the PC version better than the tabletop version. Just me. Um, there's some fun games, but I just feel like the PC version helps you along. It finds things, it plays quicker, it keeps your stats for you. I just like it. So my favorite one is Inside the Crease PC. The only problem with that is you can't simulate any games, any of the other games. You have to play
Okay,
every
you have to play.
single game in a season.
Yeah.
So it's I play it once in a while. It's usually a one-off or a playoff series or something, but you just like if you play Strat PC or Action PC, you play the game you want to play. The computer sims the rest, and you get on with your season. And this doesn't do that. So otherwise, it would be my most played game here in Studio B. That being said, I think Hockey Bones and Apple Hockey are 1 and 1A for me on the tabletop. They're both long play games. They're very similar games, but they're super, super fun. That being said, I'm going to introduce you. Favorite teams and seasons, obviously big Bruins fan. But I have a soft spot for my my New York Rangers, okay, and Chicago Blackhawks. I like my original 6 teams. I really do. Not so much Montreal, but Toronto, Chicago, Detroit, New York, and Boston. I do like those teams. And one of my favorite seasons is 70-71. I like that season. It's Blackhawks and Montreal went to 7 games. And I think the Canadians actually won. I think they won that in Chicago, actually, 3-2. So that was like one of the best series out there. Tony Esposito is my favorite goalie for the Blackhawks, and we'll be playing him tonight, at least in one of the games. And so that is that. Jason says, yes, we have Shootout and we have Stone Cold Hockey here tonight. I'm going to show Dave both of them.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yep, so we'll get right into it here as we're just saying hi to some people in the chat room. All righty, so what I need to do is you're going to see a little craziness here for 1 second while I set this up. Let me just get my picture in picture. So we're going to do this right here. All righty, so that should be – all right, so you should see everything here, hopefully. This is the setup for our Shootout hockey game. All righty, hopefully that everything looks okay. So this is the Shootout hockey helper, Dave. All righty. Now, the Shootout game, when I come back to full screen, I'll go a little bit I'll show you these. So you do have the cards here, okay? And they're really nice. They're PDF. So when you buy the game Shootout Hockey, everything's PDF. You get your rules. Your team cards are not individual players. They're team cards. And you can either play with dice or fast action cards. I will show you the fast action cards a little bit better too. I buy these fast action cards here. They're unbelievable from drive-through cards, and they're like poker cards, and they're just like, your old Hoyle cards, except they're the Shootout cards, and they work really, really well. So, but this helper is great for showing the game off because everything is in the helper. So let me bring up the North Stars here. So we're going to go the 1970-71 Minnesota North Stars. And we're going to pick up the 70-71 Chicago Blackhawks. We're going to go no overtime. We're just going to play 60 minutes. And let's go. And so this is what the cards look like, Dave. Okay, so this is our Minnesota North Stars and our Chicago Blackhawks. To get these in the helper, you just take the PDF. You just use some sort of a image clip program to clip the image, size it down, and drop it into the folder. And then you type in the names of the players into a text file, and you're done. And you can play these 2 teams. I've got several seasons loaded into the helper, and you put a team in once and you're done. So that's how you get them to the helper. That's a whole nother video, but it's really easy and it's really fun. And the helper is free, by the way. So what we're going to do.
Where'd the helper come from?
It was Tom Milne, who since passed away. He's the person that created the Pro Football Helper too. I love the Pro Football. I don't know if he did the ball score or not, but I know he did the Pro Football Helper, which I use all the time, and then the Shootout Hockey Helper. So what we're going to do first, Dave, is we're going to select our starting goaltenders, and I've already pre-selected Gump Worsley and Tony Esposito. Okay, so now we have our goaltenders all set. Off to the left, you're going to see some numbers here. You're going to see Minnesota 1-6 and 1-21, and Chicago 82-100. What that is on the team card. If you can see, on the Minnesota side, it says home and away at the top of the Minnesota card. Yep. Each team has home and away ratings. So Minnesota away, you roll a 1-6 die, a D6, and on a 1-5, their away rating is G. If you happen to roll a 6, it gets worse. It's H. And what's really fun about this game is that most teams have home and away ratings that you roll for, and sometimes the goalies have different ratings too that you roll for. So not everybody is locked into a certain rating if you follow that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now the other thing I'm looking at over here is it says Gump with a C. Well, down over here at the bottom, Gump Worsley, it's called the defense. His level is C. Tony Esposito over here is a B. Okay. So what I do and this is the only setup you need to do, is you roll for Minnesota's rating. I rolled and I got a 1 to 5, which was a G. So on my chart that I have right here, it says G offense, B goalie, and my rating is 1 to 6. That's how I got 1 to 6. And then Chicago, I did the same thing, but I used the home chart. And Chicago, I rolled, and their offense, I think, was a C. And going up against a C and C is 82 to 100. Okay. Now, when you go on the power play, you add 15 to your rating. So Minnesota goes from 1 to 6 to 1 to 21, and Chicago at the other end goes 67 to 100 on the power play. Now, what does 1 to 6 mean? What does 1 to 21 mean? Over here, this is my automatic card flipper. It's going to flip from 1 to 100 or 1 to 00, which is 100, okay? If I roll this dice, the card here, and this number in the middle, that's kind of like a die roll, but it's a fact roll. If that's between 1 and 6, Minnesota gets a scoring chance. If it's between 82 and 100, then Chicago gets a scoring chance. So the lower is better for the visitor, and higher is better for the away team. There's also, if it lands in the middle, like 27, there's nothing. We just play on. There's no action during that time. So the idea behind this game is you flip the card or roll the dice. In this case, we're flipping cards, and we're trying to see if we get a scoring chance, B, a penalty, or C, no action to stop the game for. That's kind of how it is. So it's kind of like a highlight game. So let me just play along here the best we can. And now you'll see the player cards here. Let's start with Chicago. So we have Bobby Hull over here. His position's left wing. He plays with Campbell and Chico Mackey on line 1. If by chance the number lands on Chicago's scoring range, we would flip another card. And you see where it says who over here on the right? That's where we're going to look to see who gets a scoring chance. So you determine which team gets the scoring chance and then which player. And then down below, we figure out where he's taking the shot and if the shot is good. So it's you keep flipping cards in this game, and it gets kind of fun. So let me just play along a little bit. So the first thing we do is we flip a card, and we see how many minutes come off the clock. So I'm going to click on a card, and 1 minute comes off the clock. So I come down over here, I click, and so now we're in the first minute of play. I flip another card. I have a 45. That's going to be a penalty away, and a penalty A is a minor penalty. So I flip another card, and let's see who it's going to be on. Oh, penalty B is going to be a major penalty. And so now we flip over here, and I'm looking at B column now. Do I have a Z3? I look on Minnesota, and by chance, they do not have Z3, so there's no penalty.
Wait, what's Harris?
Harris. He's a Z. The tiny little 3, that's his fight range. So,
okay.
Now over here, Magnuson is a Z2.
Oh, okay.
And Korab is an X2. Okay. It's I don't know why they did it that way. It is a little confusing because you have the fight numbers and then you have the X2s and the Z2s and the Z3s. So if by chance, whether it's a minor penalty or a major penalty, if nobody has the rating, then the ref didn't see it and you play on. So in this case, how I play it is
just like wrestling. You do stuff, and as long as the ref doesn't see it and you get away with it, just keep playing.
So how I play this one, Dave, would be because I do not have a Z3, okay, and that would have been a 5-minute major and a 10-minute misconduct, okay? That's what the 5 and the 10 over here is. I do not have a Z3. Again, I have a Z, but this 3 is fighting. This second column over here, these are the fighting guys. So when you have a fight, these are the guys you go into the fight, you know? And so we're going to play on. So one of the Blackhawks got clipped with a high stick. He's cut. Ref didn't see it. We play on. Chicago Stadium's booing right now. Okay, so Minnesota got away with one. So we flip a card to get we always start with a minute. So no time off the clock. So we're still in the first minute of play. Now we're going to roll another card or flip another card. I got a 70. Well, that's close to these 82, but it's not in range, so nothing happens during that play. Let's flip another card. 67. 3 minutes off the clock. 1, 2, 3. So now we're in the 16 minutes of play here, or the 4th minute. And 76. So close to Chicago,
Nope.
but still no scoring chance. So, again, nothing happens here. Another minute off the clock. So it's the same sequence over and over. It's the minute, how many minutes come off the clock. Let's check to see if we get a scoring chance or a power play. And if not, we just go right back to the next roll of the dice for how many minutes. If there's a penalty or a scoring chance, then we get on a different procedure. So let's see if we can get a scoring chance here. Ready? All right, so it's 1 minute off the clock. We're going to flip here, 65. Nope, still nothing. So we got a nice boring game going on right now. 1 minute off the clock. 20, just missed. Minute off the clock. Give me something good here. 37, still nothing.
I'm sort of seeing a flow of the game where you're getting some high numbers, and so the Chicago's circling around, and then you get a series of low numbers, and now you're picturing Minnesota's trying to work towards the scoring chance, and
this is
just to
highlight.
Put something in the imagination.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It in Hockey Blast they have the lulls with 3 or 4 minutes go by without anything happening, and here this is kind of like their version of the lull. Whereas just sometimes there's not goals and penalties in hockey. There's back and forth, there's struggles, there's close chances, the whole bit. This is unusual because Minnesota's 1-6, so they only have a 6% chance of getting a scoring chance because they're a bad team. Okay, their offense is G and H, which is about as worse as you can get. So now we get a penalty A on the away team. So again, we're going to look in this A box in the next card, and we got a V and a Z2. And over here, do I have a V? I do. Danny Grant is a V. So we have a penalty. So I can go here to my Minnesota penalty. Danny Grant gets a penalty. I'm just going to make up what kind of penalty it was. I'm going to call it an elbow. It's going to be 2 minutes, and we got about 11 minutes on the clock here. And this is just how the helper does it. We'll just put 11:54. All righty. So we're going to send that to the box score because we can generate a box score. So now Chicago's on the power play. And the power play procedure is an automatic 1 minute at a time. And now we're going to use the power play, which is 67 to 100. Okay, so let's see if we can get a scoring chance here. So 1 minute off the clock. That's how the power play works. 1 minute and then 1 minute. So now, we got another penalty on the north side. They're going to be down by two. We're going to be down by 2 men.
5-on-3. Okay.
So it's going to be a 5-on-3. So W or Z2? Well, we get a W here and a W here. Now, how the game says it, this is actually 3 Ws. What you would do if you were keeping stats, you would write down all the penalties, but only one gets served. So in other words, these are penalties that happen during the game that you'll track for penalties and stats, but you'll only serve the one of them. So it's kind of their way around of, doing, because it's a highlight game, you're just getting the highlights. So we're going to have another penalty here. So we're just going to give it to one player here. So we're going to give it to Drew. Let's go to one of the goons here. Let's go to Gibbs, the defenseman. All right, so Minnesota penalty on Gibbs, the defenseman. And he's going to get what are we going to give him? We're going to give him a high sticking call for 2 minutes. All right, and that'll be at 9:53. All right, so now with 2-man advantage, I give them an extra 5. So in other words, this 67 will go down to 62. Some people will bump it up 10. There's no real right way to do it with a 2-man advantage. Okay, so right now it's a 5-on-3 for 1 minute. So 1 minute comes off the clock. Let's roll here. 52. Now that's a penalty on the home team. So we got a lot of crazy stuff going on here.
It's chippy.
It is. So we have X and Y too. For me, quite honestly, penalties can ruin a game. Like this game here has been kind of lame. We have no scoring and it's all penalties. And that can be a hockey game in the 70s, but sometimes it gets a little much. So do I have an X or a Y too? I do have an X. I have Bill White here. So we're going to give a penalty to Chicago, to Billy White. And he's going to get we're going to give him an interference call. Okay. I think he interfered with somebody and the refs gave him a makeup call. All right. And he's going to go in at 10:40. Okay. So right now, each team has a man in the box. So we're skating 4-on-4. So it's just going to be 1 minute off the clock and an even roll. And finally, a scoring chance.
Hey.
Finally, 96. So 96 falls between 82 and 100. So Chicago gets a scoring chance. We're even strength because each team has a man in the box right now. So technically it's 4-on-4. And so what we're going to do is we're going to roll to see who. So I'm looking over here at who. And who is E, and I ignore everything else on the card. So what you do when you flip on the card, you're looking at one area only at a time. Nothing else matters. And this would be the same if I had my cards here and I was flipping on the table, it'd be the same way. Just flip the card and you're looking at one particular area. All right, so E. So who is E? Chico Mackey for Chicago is going to get the scoring chance. So now the next step is, where is he taking the shot? Okay, so on even strength, we're going to look right here. And he's from the blue line, which is as far away as you can get. Okay, so he's got a low percentage shot. So Chico Mackey at the blue line. So the next card, we're looking right here because it's even strength at the blue line. And it's turned aside by Gump Worsley. Gump Worsley makes the save.
And a beauty.
Yep, kick save. As P-Jet stops by, and he loves the shootout hockey too. I know P-Jet does. All right, so now the minute goes by. The last guy from Minnesota is out of the box. And I just had this in my head. I didn't write it down. So now Chicago's shorthanded. So 1 minute comes off the clock and we roll for Minnesota. And a 61 is nothing. So both teams are back to full strength. Yep, and Gary says, Gump, Gump, Gump. Yep, Gump made the save. All right, let's roll here. 2 minutes off the clock. Look at the number now. Another penalty away. Another.
Would you clean up your act over there?
Minnesota, this is what, their fourth or fifth penalty in the first period. So I'm looking for Y in X2. And you know something? I don't think I have. Right. I don't have any. Got
away with another one.
They got away with another one. Holy cow. So they had a major penalty they got away with. They would. And Chicago is incensed now. They are incensed because of all the missed calls. But again, you kind of get the idea that you are watching a game. Not a lot has happened, but even the missed penalties kind of tells a story.
Yeah, it gives you a little.
So we got 3 minutes off the clock, and a 23 is nothing. And 2 minutes off the clock, and that'll bring us down to the final minute of play. 85, another chance for Chicago. Chance. So right at the end of the first period, Chicago's going to get another chance. Let's see who it is. C is going to be Stan Mikita. We all have heard of Stan Mikita. So he's a C. So that's the scoring chance. So that's how you lock that in.
I watched Wayne's World. I know who Stan Mikita is.
Yeah, he owns a donut shop. I didn't know he played hockey. Right. Okay. So let's see where he's shooting from. From the face-off circle. So that's a little closer. So Stan Mikita comes over the line from the face-off circle. He tees one up on Gump Worsley. So now we're looking right here in the second call. So even strength, face-off circle. Let's roll, flip the card here. He scores! Stan Mikita blasts it by Gump Worsley right at the end of the first period to put Chicago up. So now we roll for assists, and assists are down here. So Stan Mikita gets the goal, and he's line 2 center. So we got to keep that in mind. So let's flip the card here. And so he was out there with defensive line 2. So how this works is on the left side is the offensive line if a defense scored, and on the right side is the defensive line in case the offense scored. So we know it was line 2 on the offense. So now we need to know who was out there with him. So it's defense 2. So now we flip a card and we look in this column, and it's the left wing. So Mikita from Dennis Hull, and then one more over here is a 6. Is anybody a 6? Not on line 2. So we got Mikita from Dennis Hull. So we're going to put it in now. We're going to look here and we're going to generate random seconds. So we're going to get a 42. So we're going to go Chicago goal. And it's going to be Stan Mikita from Dennis. Oh, Stan Mikita. And then Stan Mikita from Dennis Hull. And we said at 1942 of the first period. That was an even strength goal. And into the box score, and that is that. So now you can see the score is 1-0 Chicago. Okay, so now what we can do, if we like to, and I like to do, is I take this chart here, this big shot on goal chart, okay? And what you do is you roll the dice to see how many shots on goal they had. And so you look at how many scoring chances versus the 6-sided die. And you get dice roll down here too in this game. So you can play this with dice, or you can play it with cards, but you have a dice roll down here. So if I roll over here, I'm going to look at the 2. So for Minnesota, they had 0 scoring chances. And it says I rolled a 2. It says 1d6. So let me roll a d6. So they had one shot. So Minnesota had one shot on net in that period. It was my shot on goal. Minnesota goal. Minnesota shot. So they only had one shot. A lot of penalties and just one shot. Now for Chicago, I think they had 2 scoring chances. And so I rolled a 2 and a 2. They have 8 shots on net. So I'll get them up to 8. So at the end of the first period, it's 1-0 Chicago. And the shots are 8-1. So Minnesota's kind of getting blown out here, even though it's 1-1. We'll play another quick period here, and then we'll show you the next game. Any questions so far? Hopefully I'm not going too fast.
No, this is fun. A couple of questions I have.
Okay.
You said the goalie ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Esposito's a B and Gump is a C. So presumably Gump is better, or Esposito is better.
Right. Yep.
Now, if you took 100 goalies, or let's say 30 goalies across the league, how many would be A, B, C, D? How do they determine what makes those? Is it just by comparison to the other goalies, or are there specific stats that determine that, or how do you know?
I would imagine, like most games, that there's a formula to getting what their ratings are. So depending on how many games they played, how many shots, how many goals, and they just plug that into a formula, and that's going to give you the A, B, C, D, E, F rating, is what I would gather. So, like I said, I don't know the formula. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times in the games, it's whether they have a scoring range or whether they have a rate, like a letter or a number grade. It's usually based on their regular season performance, and probably compared to all the other goalies. So your top goalies will be A's and B's, and your bottom goalies will be F's and G's, pretty much. Let me see, how low can you go on the goalie here? H is, I think, about as low as you can go on the goalie. So it's AA to H. No, I'm sorry, AA to J. Wow, you can get a J goalie, which is basically me.
Right, yeah. And then probably the same thing is probably true for the team ratings. The C and the D for Chicago, and the F and the G for Minnesota. Chicago, the better team. So
yeah.
So in other words, ratings there.
So if I look at trying to think of a good team here, like the Chicago Blackhawks in 1991, they were a C or a D rating because they were a better team. Boston was C or a D. I'm trying to think if there's a good team here. Winnipeg was D and E. They were absolutely terrible that year. I'm trying to think who were the better teams. Quebec was E and F. That's how bad Quebec was. Okay, the Pittsburgh Penguins, 1991, they were B or C at home, and then C or D on the road. And who was their goalie, by the way? Wow, their goalies weren't that good. E's and F's. Eddie Belfour was only C and D, so they're kind of stingy who they give the A levels to. They really are in this game. I'm just flicking through the 1991 season to see if anything jumps out at me.
It kind of has the feel of like strat baseball in your fielding ratings. Who's going to be a 1, who's going to be a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Is it reputation? Is it measurables? Is it, and of course in Stratomatic world, if you were a New York Yankee, you automatically got one rating better because that was the whole conspiracy theory that, Strat favors the Yankees and Derek Jeter's overrated and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But,
so if I look at some more, these are the 71 cards that I'm holding in my hand, by the way. The goalies for the Kings are F, and F. so a B rating is like really, really good. Okay. Buffalo, F, and E. Minnesota, as you see on the screen, D, C, and F. So Gilles Gilbert, who ended up playing for the Bruins, was still young. He's an F rating. So, I mean, that's what it is here. Vancouver, E and G. There's a guy that has a G rating. Now, here's my only A. Ken Dryden, Montreal Canadiens, of course. He's an A-rated goalie here in 70-71. Oh boy, the Detroit Red Wings, they have E, F, and I. So the goalie ratings are not that good. They're really not in this game. So you got to fight to get a good rating. So Dryden's an A, Esposito's a B. So those are your 2 best ones. I can't post the chat right now, guys, because I have to show my full screen. So when I come back out of this game, I'll post some of the chat in here. So I know, let's just continue on a little bit. So we're going to go to the next period.
Sure.
All righty, and we'll play a little bit more. Then I'll show you a different game here. And PJet says Bob
Yeah.
Champeau was a J on the 73-74 Seals. And yes, they can be pretty bad here. All right, so let's continue on. So again, we start with the minutes, 2 minutes off the clock, and that's all we're looking at is just the minutes. So 2 minutes off the clock. Now we're looking at just the number. So we have an 8. Oh, almost a scoring chance for Minnesota. They just missed it. So how I do that is they brought it over the line and it was offside. The guy had a breakaway, but he was offside on the pass. That's how close it was. So now we flip for some more time, 2 minutes off the clock. Let's get another number, 70. Well, that's nobody, so no time and nothing's going on here. So we got another minute off the clock. 44, another penalty on the North Stars. They are not happy. Let's see who this penalty is on. T and Z3. So we know we don't have a Z3, but we do have, is that Tiger Williams? We have a T. We have a T. Oh, and Lou Nanny also has a T. We're going to give it to Williams. We're going to Minnesota penalty. Oh, Tommy Williams. Tommy Williams is going to get the penalty. And we're going to give him a roughing call. All righty, at 4, nice. Whatever. All right, so now Chicago back on the power play. So on the power play, it's an automatic 1 minute roll. So 1 minute off the clock. And now we look at the power play numbers, 82 to 100, 23. No, Minnesota doing a good job of killing this off. Here's the final minute.
So if you get a 1 to 6, does that give Minnesota a shorthanded run?
Yep. You can get shorthanded, but what they would do is they would roll off the shorthanded column, which you would have to score from the blue line.
Oh yeah, so over there on the right. So yeah.
Really see how the X is over here. So if you were shorthanded, it's automatically taken from the blue line, which is your toughest chance to score. So you don't even get a chance on a face-off or a slot. So, but it is possible. All right, so let's see the next roll here. 17 is nothing. That's a good kill by Minnesota. So the penalty's over. Comes out of the box. And now, 4 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a fast-moving second period. Minnesota hanging in at 1-0. The number is 67. So we don't have anything again. So let's go 2 minutes. 1 and 2. What's the number? 1. Finally a chance for Minnesota. Look at that. Look at that. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is this program shuffles the card after every flip. So in theory, I could roll 1 3 times in a row. Whereas if I'm flipping on the table, once that 1 is up, it's gone until I shuffle and put it back in the deck. So I like this a little bit better. I like having the cards getting reshuffled so that 1 is not gone forever, That's just me. Some people like it the old-fashioned way, but I do like it this way. All right, so let's see if Minnesota can tie the game. Who's taking this shot? So we got a 1 Minnesota scoring chance. It's H. JP Parisi. Over here is the H. So JP Parisi is going to get our chance. And now where's he shooting from? From the slot. He's right in the slot now. They didn't cover him. He's got Tony Esposito dead to rights. So I'm looking even strength from the slot. So I'm looking right down here in the next card. And he scores. It's hard to block a slot shot. So JP Parisi has tied the game for the North Stars at 1-1. Chicago Stadium's not happy. So JP
how do they is that simply a function of the fast action card that's a goal? It has nothing to do with a shooting rating on Parisi or Esposito's B rating or anything like that.
Right. Well, what it is in this particular game, the better players get more of the scoring chances, is what it is. So you see, some of the guys have 2 letters, and some guys just have 1.
Yeah.
The guys with 2 letters have a better chance of getting that letter to come up. Like the top guy, Danny Grant, the B and C will come up more often. So he will get more of the scoring chances. But yes, on the card, whether it's your best guy or your worst guy, the card is just going to tell you if it's a goal or not. Okay.
So in terms of the game, what does it mean that Esposito is a B-rated goalie?
It means that Minnesota has a 1 to 6 scoring range.
Oh, okay. So that factors into the 1 to 6. Got it.
Yeah, and also there are chances that it'll come up that'll ask you to check for a rebound and ask you to check for a save. Okay, and so if you look at Tony Esposito on the right-hand side, next to the B rating, there's a 2 on the rebound. So if there's a rebound chance, you have to beat a 2 to score. and on a save, he makes a save on a 7. Okay, a great, it's like a great save type of thing. So there are some ratings that will come into play for the goalie, but for the most part, it's their rating. It will determine the scoring value. Okay, if you will, the scoring range. So Minnesota's 1 to something. Well, because Esposito's a B, it's 1 to 6. Just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
If so, Minnesota, we said, was a G. Okay, so their offense is a G, and so they're 1 to 6 on a B goalie. If they were shooting on an F goalie, okay, that we're playing somebody terrible, it'd be 1 to 17 instead of 1 to 6.
Yeah. Good.
Now, if it's
Now I see how that works.
if it's Dryden in net and it's 1 to he's an A goalie, instead of 1 to 6, it's 1 to 3. So the scoring, so you look at the goalie determines how many scoring chances you're going to get. So he won't stop the save unless you get a rebound chance or a save check. But for the most part, it's kind of, that's where the goalie rating comes in. Now the player rating, the player rating, the only rating that you get is how often they get a scoring chance. So you won't see the bottom guys get many scoring chances at all. So the top guys will get most of them. But yes, you are correct. So as far as the player's skill and the goalie skill do not come in once the scoring chance has been established. Okay.
Yeah, that all, the player's skills combine to determine that this team is an F because the players
Right.
are at that level, and then within that, the people with the more, the B's and the C's have more scoring propensity than the P or the O or a guy like Lawson who doesn't even have a rating.
Yep. So Chicago, because at home they're a C, and against the goal, that's why they have 82 to 100. So that's 18. What's that? 18%. Every time you flip a card, they have 18% chance of getting a scoring chance, whereas Minnesota only has a 6% chance. So that's what the ratings come in to determine the scoring chance range. And then after that, it whittles down to who's taking the shot, but who's taking it won't matter once you get on the fast action card, whether the goal happens or not. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay, so we just scored. So now we need to see. So we said that was I forget who's JP Parisi scored the goal, right? So he scores. So that's line 2. So we're gonna flip a card and we're gonna look at the defense. So he's out with defensive line 1. So we have JP Parisi line 2 offense, and he's out there with line 1 defense. So we're gonna flip another card and it's gonna say the center. So Parisi's out there with Hampson. So Parisi from Hampson. And the next assist is in the final box, and it says the whole line. So Parisi, Hampson, and Harvey will all cash in on this goal. So Parisi gets the goal. Hampson and Harvey, and we'll just say it was an even strength goal. I think it was even strength, and just 12-28, send the box score, and there we go. Now, if we want to call up the box score, we can see this is what's happened during the game. We have our first period goal by Makita. We have a bunch of penalties in the game. And then in the second period, here's our goal. We have some shots on net here. Gump Worley and Tony Esposito. And everything that's going on in the game. Not much has happened, but yeah, the box score is kind of neat. It really does. So you can print that out and save that if you want as well.
So you track the on the box score we had goals and assists and penalties. Are those all the stats you track, or do you have other?
I think that's
other
most
stats
of them.
that you want to track? That's most of them.
I think that's about it. So again, at the top here you get your score. Then here's your actual box score of the game. Shots on goal by period. So you can see Chicago at 8 shots. Minnesota only had the 1. Now Minnesota does have credit for a shot because they have a goal in this period. The goalies, it shows their shots against and saves, and then again just goals, points, and penalty minutes. Yeah, so you don't get block shots or anything like that with this. This is kind of a highlight-driven game where you're going to get points and penalties, is what it is. So we'll just continue on a little bit more here. And so we got 2 minutes off the clock. So we got 5 minutes to play in the second period. 95. So Chicago with a scoring chance. So Chicago looking to take that lead back. Who gets it? C. So it's going to be Stan Mikita again.
Stan Mikita again.
So you see how the better guys tend to come up a little bit more. So where's he shooting from? He's shooting from the face-off circle. So we're going to be looking even strength face-off circle right here. And Makita will
He
score.
scores.
Stan Makita comes right back for Chicago.
See, I know a little bit about hockey.
There you go. All right, let's see who gets the assists on Stan Makita's goal. So he's line 2. So he's out there with defensive line 2. So it's going to be line 2 and line 2. We look in the first column. It's the right D. So Jerry Korab is going to get 1 assist, and the right wing. So we have Makita from Carl and Korab. And so we got a Chicago goal. So Makita from Carl and Jerry Korab, who played with the Sabres at one point, I believe. That's an even strength goal. And whatever time we want to put on there. And there we go. So now it's 2-1 Chicago. So we'll just finish out the second period here and just give you an idea how it plays out here.
Yeah,
so
I'm starting to get the hang of this. This is
so
kind of fun.
No time off the clock, so we don't adjust anything. So we roll again, a 15. That's nobody. How many minutes off the clock? 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's look at that number again. 71, so close, but it doesn't get there. And a minute off the clock, so we got just over a minute to play. 76. Oh, so close for Chicago. Just missed it. And 1 minute off the clock, so we're going to get our last play here of the period. And 28 is nothing, so that'll end the period. So now I believe each team had one scoring chance, I believe. So let's roll the dice and see what the shots on net are. So we're going to have, on my chart, we're going to have 7 for the North Star. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't count the goal as a shot because that's already been counted. And now for Chicago, they had 1, 2. So they had 10 shots on net and got 1 goal. So I need to add 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the shots are 18-8 after the second period. And then you would just play out the rest of the game like that. So let me just kind of just show you the rest of it. So if I just take a whole bunch of time off the clock here, 2-1. So we'll give Minnesota a couple of chances here at the end. And nope. So they'll pull the goalie. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the goalie. And what we're going to do with a minute left, we're going to pull the goalie. We're going to bring it down to the final minute of the game. So I'm looking over here where it says 6th. Okay. That's what we're going to see if they scored the goal or not. That dash means nothing. EN is an empty net goal, and goal obviously is a goal by Minnesota. They say to flip 1 for dramatic effect. I like to flip 2 in the final minute. That's kind of the only really change I've made to this game is that I like to add 2 to give them some drama. So let's flip the first one, and nothing there. Now, if it's some kind of a goal, then that would be the end of it. Okay, so here's the final play. Final 30 seconds of the game. An empty net goal by Chicago. So let's see who gets that empty net goal. That will be A. So Bobby Hull scores into the empty net, and then we could follow our procedure here to see who gets.
Could have had a hat trick for Makita.
Yep. So we'll just give Bobby Hull the unassisted empty net goal. That's going to be let's see, even strength empty net goal. And at 19:57, and that'll do it. And then that'll end the game. And here's our final score: 3-1 Blackhawks. And then you can put in how many minutes they play. So for Gump, I think he played 59 minutes, right? Because we took him on at the end. And then it was 60 minutes for Tony Esposito. And we'll send that to the box score. Oh, I never put in my final shot, so that should be a little bit higher. I didn't put the third period shots. But that's about it. Then if you go to your box score and display it, it tells you everything that happened in your game here. And you can print that out or send it wherever you want to do. But it gives you all the stats from the game.
Nice.
So, yeah. So that's again, I played that kind of fast. So it might have been kind of quick.
Yeah, I got the hang of it sort of midway through the second period.
So that's what you call like a highlight type of game, whereas you're flipping cards. How many minutes comes off the clock? Then you look for the number. What happens? Is it a scoring chance? Is it a penalty? Or is it just kind of just a bunch of action that didn't lead to anything? So you're trying to just dig out the scoring chances and the penalties in the game is what you're trying to do. And then when you get the power play, it slows down to 1 minute at a time. And then, but we had a 2-man advantage there at one point. That was kind of neat. So that really opened up the scoring window, and then they killed it off. And then, so again, if I like that game because I can get through a game in 15, 20 minutes. And I feel like I've played a hockey game because I've just kind of, focused on the parts of the game that you need to focus on. You don't need to see the corner battles and the pushing and shoving and the icings and the offsides. This gets right down to it. That's what it does there. So that was one of them. Now
Yeah,
the other
great.
one. So let me see here. So let me do this. All right. So now that's Shootout, and so again, you get the team cards that are like this. Okay. So that's what you saw on the screen. So if you play on the table, these are your cards you would print out. You can use dice, or you can use these fast action cards, which are absolutely gorgeous, and they're just they're just representations of what was on the screen. But these are gorgeous. I have two sets. I got the one set with this, and then the one set was kind of blank. Okay, and they're $20. $20, and they got professionally printed out cards, and that's what I like to use if I'm playing on the tabletop. There is a whole way you can play with dice, and you just look at the chart. So instead of seeing the who on the card, you roll the dice and you go to the chart to find who gets the scoring chance. So I started playing with dice. I really kind of like the dice till I get the fast action cards, and then everything's on the fast action card. It's just, that's the way to go with that. All right. So the next game I want to show you is going to be Stone Cold Hockey. And this is a relatively new game. Okay. Now with Stone Cold Hockey, it's almost the same kind of deal. You have the team cards. Okay. Same kind of deal. The only difference is that we're gonna roll for the scoring and the assists and the penalties. It's very similar to the last game I played. You got the charts here. Now this is more like a play game, if you will. Okay. So what's going to happen is we're going to determine who's going to get the scoring chance, and then we're going to compare some ratings. And we start with column A. Okay, so let's just say Chicago has it. Okay, we roll this dice here. If they're attack 12 or more, they score. Okay, well, they're not attack 12. Are they attack 10 or 11? They get a crease chance. They're not that. Well, how about this over here? Are they attack 8 or 9? Yes, they happen to be 8. So this is the column we're going to use. So, you know, in the play game, is it this? No. Is it this?
Yeah.
No. So you go right down the line to determine what it's going to be. Okay. So so you do have your charts here. What's really fun about this game is the momentum chart. Okay. So what happens here is, your stamina, it's called. It's just stamina. And every time you throw a hit and get a penalty, you get the penalty, but their stamina comes down. And I thought that was genius because at some point, you're on the shorthanded.
You're beating them down.
You're beating them down. And Ron and I played a game one time with the Flyers, the 74 Flyers, and they beat a team down to 1 stamina. And so what happens during the game sometimes is you roll the dice and it says the team with the higher stamina gets the scoring chance. So you beat them down, and you're going to win that every single time. So let me show you that one now. Now, this is on the computer as well. And so what I need to do is share my whole screen and kind of back out again. So I'm going to share my whole screen here. All righty. And so now let me back out of this. So this is the computer version of the Cards and Dice game. Plays pretty much like the Cards and Dice. Okay. So we'll pick out 2011, 12, because I think you might know some of the Blackhawks from here. And this is it. I like how this is set up. You get your standings, you get your teams. You can look at the teams. This is basically the team card right here. So if we go to Chicago, all right, you got Patrick Sharp, Marion Hossa, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane. This team is pretty good, okay? And it gets you this scoring rating. So 12% of the time, Patrick Sharp is going to be the one with the puck. And then it goes right on down the line. And for a guy like Sammy Lepisto, you got to roll a 99 for him to get a scoring chance, okay? Yeah. And then it's got an assist column as well, okay? So, and again, the better guys have more assists. And then you got a penalty column and the whole bit. So, and then I think the last column is your fighting majors, okay? So let me go back to my schedule here. All right, so we're just going to, and what's great about this is, watch this. Autoplay the game. It's done. Autoplay the game. It's done. Autoplay the game. It's done. So let's go to Chicago-Dallas game, shall we? So we're going to play, not autoplay. So this is the screen that we get. And it's very, very similar to the shootout in a certain way. So let me show you what we have here. So on the left side, Chicago. And this is all what's on their card. So if I were to hold up, the card here for Chicago, this is what it would say on the top. You got a home and away control rating. Then you have attack, defense, aggression, power play rating, a penalty kill rating, and then your goalie rating. Now, Emery and Crawford are both rated 6, so that doesn't change. Over here, Letton is an 8, but Raycroft is a 6, and Backman is a 6. So we want our best goalie in Letton in the net, okay? And so you can see the control, attack, and defense and over here. So there's a little bit more ratings in this game than there is in the last game. So what's going to happen is we're going to determine control numbers. You remember we had the 1 to 6 for Minnesota and then the 82 to 100 for Chicago in the last game. So this is kind of similar. So you can see in the middle of the screen here, the control is 1 to 10 on the left. That's Chicago's control on a 20-sided die roll. And Dallas is 11 to 20. So how you would figure that out is you would look at Chicago's control rating, Dallas control rating, and look at the chart. And it says, is it +1 to -1, which is they're pretty equal? Yes, it is. The visitor range is 1 to 10, and the home range is 11 to 20. Okay, so basically this game is kind of even as far as that goes. Now, if by chance, we were playing a team that had like a 2 control rating, their control might be 1 to 7, and then the home control would be, 8 to 20 or something like that. So it does range. So it's very similar to the shootout, where you compare the two teams and you have a control rating. You can see each team's stamina is at 10. Okay, so the left is Chicago, the right is Dallas. The battle number, what that is we look at our aggression. Chicago aggression, Dallas aggression. It's 6 and 6. We add them together, and that gives us a 12, and it says our range for the battle die is 14 or more, and I'll tell you what that means in 1 second. So that's the setup for this game. Is you got to figure out your control numbers and your battle number, and that's all on the chart here in the game. So let's play. First thing we want to do is roll our dice, and it's very similar to shootout. We have our timing die, just like we did with the fast action cards, okay? So 1 minute comes off the clock because we rolled a 1. Now, this is a 1 to 6 roll, so it can be 1 or it can be all the way up to 6 minutes to come off the clock. So now we check our battle die. So we're going to roll a 20-sided die, 14 or higher, and we're going to have a puck battle. If it's less than 14, then we're going to do the control check. So let's roll. So we're going to have a control check. Okay, do you follow that?
Yeah.
1 or 2 things are going to happen after you roll for time. We're going to either have a control check or we're going to have a puck battle. So 2 things are going to happen, 1 or 2 things. So now we're going to roll for the control. 1 to 10 is Chicago and 11 to 20 is Dallas. So it's a 1. So Chicago gets control. And I like how the game highlights this so we know what's going on. So what we do now is we roll against the defense. Now, Dallas's defense is 8, okay, which is good, but Chicago's defense is 9. It's even better. So we need to roll the defensive die. If we beat it, we roll from the A chart, which is the better chart. If we don't beat it, that means the defense made a great play, and we roll off the defensive chart, which is just not that good. So a 6. So we did not beat it. So you can see on the left where it says defense chart.
Yep.
Okay, so that means Dallas made a really good defensive play, and it's going to be really difficult for them to score. So now we roll a percentile die. It's a 41. We look over here, and the action grinds to a halt on the boards. So great defensive play, and even down the bottom it says no shot. So nothing really happens on that one right there. On this particular chart, on the defensive chart, there is no if, that, or the other thing. Okay, the defensive chart is just what it says. It's where's my defense? It's just one chart. Whereas the attack chart, that's the one that is, are they this? No. Are they this? No. Are they this? Yes or no. Okay, so on the attack chart, that's when you go down the line. But on the defense chart, it's just the one chart, and it's a lot harder to score. Okay, so let's continue on. So let's roll how much time. Another minute off the clock. It's a very slow-moving game here in Dallas. The battle die is a 20. So now it beats the 14, and it lights up to let us know that we're in the 18th minute. The battle die has been selected, and now the puck battle chart comes up. And so this is not going to be an automatic scoring chance for anybody. This could be a penalty. This could be a fight. This could be anything. And this is really kind of fun about this game. So let's roll the percentage dice. A 13. Let's do an aggression check. Okay. Whoever's the higher aggressor gets a penalty, but they deal a hit. And then we just talked about that before the game.
Yeah.
So the aggression of Chicago is a 6 and Dallas is 6. So, yeah. So if there was a difference in that, then that would be factored into the roll. Okay, so if one team had one more aggression or one less aggression, that would be factored into the roll. But in this particular game, it's even. So Chicago rolls a 15 on the 20-sided die, and Dallas rolls a 2. So Chicago wins, but in winning, they take a penalty. But they also deliver.
That's a whooping.
So they also deliver a hit. Yeah. So they beat them. So the puck battle. So we have an aggression check. So Chicago gets a penalty, but you can see the stamina down at 9 now for Dallas. So right now, Chicago has a higher stamina. So now it's a power play. So now we have the power play chart.
And they already gave the penalty. They see the Kruger is the penalty.
Yep, and he's got the little 2 minutes up here, and that's kind of. And I'll show you the box score in 1 second. Now that we have something up there. And again, this game doesn't show you all the penalties like the last game. This kind of gives you some highlights. It will tack on penalties at the end in the box score when you're done with the game, and it also doesn't track shots. So, but it tells you right up front that this game doesn't do everything that you're not going to get full stats out of this game, but it is super fun in how it does play. So we're on the power play. So I don't have any timing roll. It's just another minute off the clock, and now let's roll on the power play chart. And I got a 62. Sliding defender blocks the shot and then clears the puck away. And now the power play group has to regroup. The power play unit has to regroup. So terrific play by Chicago here on the first minute. So let's go to the second minute of the power play. I'm going to roll the dice. That's a 40. Is the attacking stamina, if it's greater than the defense, they get a crease chance. Okay? Otherwise, a point chance. So you remember how they took that penalty? Well, they knocked
we took the hit. Yeah,
So now when we check the stamina, a crease chance is the best chance you can get. But because their stamina is less, they're going to have to go all the way back to the point. So what's going to happen over here is this is the point chart. Okay, this would say crease, but it's a point chart. So now Steve Ott over here is taking the shot. You can see his name over here and over here. So Steve Ott has the puck for Dallas. So now if I look at the chart, so I would there's a way to roll here. So we would have to roll a 61 to 65 to get Steve Ott the puck, and we did. Okay, so it's very similar to the ABCD from the last game when you're choosing who gets the shot. It's the same kind of thing, but it's a percentile roll. Mm-hmm. So Steve Ott has the puck. So now he's shooting on Corey Crawford. He's a 6. So I come over here, and a 42 to 46, a goalie 6 plus makes the save. Otherwise, he scores. So I have 0 to 41. He's going to score because everything is above a 6 over here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's the automatic goal here. So the only way that Corey Crawford makes the save is if I roll 46 or less, or 42 or less. 46, I think it is. Or 42 or higher. Okay. You follow that. Okay.
So let's roll. So you got a 41% chance he's going to score.
41% chance he's going to score from the point here. And he shoots. Oh, it's a 46. So the 6 makes the save. And it lights up to tell you what happened here. And again, and if you were playing on the tabletop, you would have the chart, and you look at the chart over here and say, oh my gosh, look, he made that save, great save, blah, 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 So that is that right there on the chance from the crease. Yep. And so that is that. And again, all the charts are, you get all the charts, but on the computer, it's a little bit easier, a little bit faster. All right. So the power play is up. So now what do? We roll the timing die again. That's another minute. Wow. This is creeping along here. So let's roll the battle die. Let's see if it's going to be higher or lower than 14. So we have a 7. So it's a control check. So again, 1 to 10 for Chicago and 11 to 20 for Dallas. This time Dallas gets it. Now let's check the Chicago defense, which is a 9. And yep, we rolled less, so we're on the defensive chart because Chicago made a great play. Now it's Alex Goligoski with the puck. So over here, this is the defenseman, so we must have rolled 71 to 74 for him to get a scoring chance, okay? So we're going to come back over here, and let's see what his scoring chance happens to be. Sliding defenseman takes one for the team. Oh, okay. So the defenseman made the play, but he takes a hit, and now the stamina drops to 9. So now we're both at 9, but he made the play, but at a great price, Let's see how many minutes come off the clock this time. 4 minutes off the clock. Now we're going to roll against the battle number 5. It's going to be control, not a battle. It's going to be a control check. Back to Dallas with a 15. Checking Chicago's defensive 6. Okay, so now we're on the attack chart. So this is the chart that we're going to roll to see, what their attack is and go down the line. The computer does it automatically, is what it does. Okay, so we don't have to worry about going down the line here. This computer will put up here what we need to look at on the chart is basically what we're going to do. But again, if you were playing on the tabletop, you could follow along. So let's roll the dice here, and it's Vernon Fiddler for Dallas. The Fiddler on the roof has the puck, and let's see what he can do against Corey Crawford. A 22. Okay, so it says attack 3 or 4. It's a slot chance, and they are attack 4. Now, just to kind of follow along.
What's the B? 22 to 26B.
Okay.
There's A, B's, and C's in that column.
Right. Okay, so he rolls. Okay, on my chart here, let me come back. I don't know if I can come back here. I'm just going to hold this up. Hopefully, you can I'll get an idea. All right, so on this chart, he rolled a 22. So I look at 22, and attack 5 plus scores. Well, Dallas attack is a 4, so I need to go to column B. Okay, so see that 22,
okay.
26?
Yeah,
that is column B.
Before, right?
Yeah, and a column B says attack 3 or 4, it's a slot chance. So you see where it says attack 3 or 4, it's a slot chance. So it automatically bounces us down to the column that we need to be in. So you can see like A, B, B, C, B. So it's automatically slides us to where we need to be. So if they were not an attack 3 or 4, then it would automatically slide down to column C, which is just a point chance. But because they are a 3 or a 4, he will get a shot from the slot. So now we look at Vernon Fiddler over here. He's shooting at Emery, who's a 6. And it's almost the same, but it's a little bit different this time. So he's got a 0 to 53 will be the goal. 54 and above, a goalie 6 or more makes a save. So Vernon Fiddler shoots and turned aside just barely with that 54. Boy, right against the edge of it. So we'll call that a terrific save by Corey Crawford. And he's keeping Chicago in this game. All right, so now we reset. And we get 3 minutes off the clock. Let's go to the battle die. That's a 5, so it's going to be less than battle number. So it's going to be a control check to see who's going to get the chance. Chicago, because it's 1 to 10 with a 5. We check defense, which is an 8. 17. So Chicago, Marian Hossa now is going to get the chance. So if we would roll the dice, we would roll 13 to 23, and Marian Hossa is going to get the chance here. So we're going to roll the die, and then we'll check the attack chart because we're on the good chart now because the defensive die roll beat the defense. All right. So here it is. It's a 21, and he scores. It's an automatic goal. So if I look at column A and I roll a 21, attack 4 scores on a breakaway, hard wrist and nails top corner. So their attack is 8. So they easily score on that one right there. Lower is generally better for the scoring team. And it automatically assigns the assist. So Marian Hossa from Jonathan Toews. Now, if I want to check my box score, here's my box score. And what's neat about this is not only it shows you what's going on, who got the goal, okay, and who got the penalties. But over here, it tells you every time we rolled the dice and stopped, what happened. I like that. So we rolled 1 minute off the clock. Chicago got possession. It was chart A. The result was a 41, and it was no shot. Okay.
Play by play.
Yep, pretty much. Chicago, another minute off the clock. Dice roll was 13. We got a minor hit on the play, is what it was. So that's kind of, so it tells you everything that, so, the other day I played and it was like all Rangers, Ranger shot. And it's like, so that's why they beat the Bruins so bad in game one. Is it was all Rangers getting the control checks. It was kind of funny.
And there you got a slashing penalty on Kruger. Would that be like Freddie? Would they be like Freddie Krueger's son?
I think it's definitely related. Definitely related.
Freddie Krueger probably got a slashing penalty or two in his day.
yeah. I wouldn't call it on him though. All right, so we got a 1-0 lead for Chicago. Hossa from Taze. And what would happen here is that you would roll the dice. So Hossa got the goal, and then you roll on the assist chart, and that would be a 19-25, and Taze would get the assist. So if you were playing
only one assist.
Well, on this particular one here, there is an assist chart in the game here. Where's my assist chart? Yep. So you'd roll 1 to 20, and it would say if it was unassisted, 1 assist or 2 assists. And so in this particular case, it rolled 1 assist and assigned it to Jonathan Taze. So the only real difference between the cards and dice game and the computer game is it does the rolls for the shooters and the penalties and the assists automatically. Whereas when you play on the table, you do the rolling. That's why I like the tabletop version just a little bit better, because I can see who gets the penalties myself by rolling the dice. So we'll continue on here. So we got 3 minutes off the clock. We have a control check because it's less than 14. It's Chicago again. They beat the defense of 8, and it's going to be Patrick Kane and Patrick's Kane. All right, so here it is. So now we're on chart C. It went all the way to chart C. And that's when we find out, are you attack 8 or 9? Yes, we're attack 8. So obviously chart A was looking for something higher. Chart B was looking for something higher. So this is where we landed on chart C. And it's going to be a chance from the slot. Okay. And so let's roll our dice now. Patrick Kane is shooting on Lettinen, who's an 8. So now I need 0 to 39. So it's not as good as the other guy who's a 6. So Lettinen's going to make a save from 40 to 99. Let's see if Kane can beat him. And he scores with a nice low roll. He beats him, and only 1 assist again. So Kane from Frolic, and it's 2-0 now. And we'll continue on. 4 minutes off the clock. Control check. Dallas this time. A low roll means Chicago made it a nice defensive play. Michael Ryder, disciplined unit, never gets a good chance, and no shot is the result of that. And then this is the end of the period. Shows you who scored. You can click on your box score and get everything that happened in that period. And that's how that game plays. Now, if you really want this game, what's fun about this game is you can fly through this game. Just click, 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 and as fast as you can click, you'll get through this game if you really want to do it. It's really kind of, that's another way to do it. If you
just like that, it's 2-2. We didn't see what happens. And
yep, because I was just kind of clicking, not even looking. But if I go here, so we got Goligoski and Ryder for Dallas. Over here they got the goals, go Dallas and goal Dallas. So it is kind of fun if you want to do it that fast, But anyway, so let's say.
And last night you were jumping around from one game to another last night.
Well, I was going through the games pretty quick, So I was doing this. I was like, so when I play my normal speed, it's like 6 minutes off the clock. Okay, control check. Dallas with it now. A 9 is going to be off the defensive chart because they have a 9, so they didn't beat it. Michael Ryder, no shot. So we're going to reset. 3 minutes off the clock, and that ends the second period. So let's go to the third period. 3 minutes off the clock. We got a puck battle coming up. In 07, we got a minor penalty coming up here on Dallas, but they will give a hit to Chicago, who's now stamina 8. So it's going to be a power play Chicago, and they're going to kill this and the next one. So a terrific job that they killed off the penalty. So 15 minutes ago, now 14 minutes ago. We're going to have a control check. It's going to go to Chicago. Check chart A, and it's going to be a slot chance. No, it's not going to be. It's a broken stick, I think it is. Yep. I think it was. So let's see, attack 9 or 10. So they're attack 8. So we went all the way down, and the final thing is otherwise a broken stick. So they got a broken stick. 6 minutes off the clock. Control check. Chicago again. 10 beats an 8. So they're going to get chart A, Andrew Shaw. And he's this time, because they're attack 8, they will get a slot chance. We come over to the slot chart, which pops up automatically, and he scores with the 7. Anything low like that's automatic. So he said any goalie at all, doesn't matter who it is, it's going to be a goal. So 3-2 Chicago, 6 minutes off the clock. Control check Dallas. Now they get a chance to tie it up here. Adam Burish, and he will score on a inspired play.
Well, yeah, that's a home team, so that's a home.
Yep,
nice
home ice. Yep.
Nice.
So if I look at my chart over here, yep, on a straight up 96, home team produces a slot chance on an inspired play. Yep. And so apparently he scored on that slot chance. So he rolled a 96. Yep, he scored. So I'm not sure why that's an automatic goal.
Because he's a home team.
Yeah, home ice. Home team produces slot chance on an inspired play. Well, somehow that turns into an automatic goal. We'll take that unassisted, and we'll just continue on here. 6 minutes. That's the end of regulation. So we can go into overtime, and there's different overtime rules here. So you just roll off the chart. There's no action here. The next minute, we roll again, and there's no action in overtime. And we get an attack sequence now coming up. Roll, control, and defense. So Dallas gets it. Chart A, and it's turned. No, did not connect. We play on here. 1 minute to go. Home tack A. So this is our chart over here for overtime on the 4-on-4. It's column A. I rolled a 3, and it's going to be nothing here either. I think that's going to be it. I think. Pings the post, and that is that. One more control check. Defensive chart. Dallas delivers a hit, and now we're in the shootout. So let's see how the shootout goes. Nystrom's going to take the shootout. 23, and he scores on the shootout. So Dallas goes up by 1. Chicago, Victor Stahlberg, and he is turned aside. So another chance here for Dallas, and another save on the 88. Need a low number here, 82. No, it's a save. Dallas can win it here, I believe. A nice low number. And no, he rolls the 6. The 6 is a save.
Oh, the 6 is a save. Okay.
Yeah, his goal rating of 6 is a save. So one last chance here. This is Patrick Kane. Goalie 8, so he's got to roll 0 to 27. No, it's a save, and that'll end the game. So the final score is 4-3. 4-3 in the shootout, and you can see the shootout. What happened in the shootout here? The result of the game and all the scores and stuff here. But this plays pretty quick, and it's all automatic, and it's all set up, and it is really kind of fun to play that one there too. So those are the two that I enjoy playing. They're fast. They're cards and dice. And they're on the computer if you want to play either one of them. The Stone Cold that we just played, that's the one that simulates the game, and you can play a whole season in it. The other one, the Shootout with the Helper just does that one game. But it's fun for showing off because you have the cards on the screen, and you can follow it along with the fast action cards, and we'll give you a box score. But they're both super fun. Now, neither one, you have a hockey feel, but you're not really learning the game like you would with Strat or App or a Hockey Bones or something like that, which is a deeper game, which is going to take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to play, But these two games here, you can play. This one here on the computer can play really fast, like 5-10 minutes. But on the tabletop, you're looking at 15-20 minutes, and you get a hockey experience. You feel like that you've been watching a hockey game, but you get the highlights. It's a highlight. It's almost like a football game that's drive by drive.
Yeah.
So you get the drive-by-drive football game, and sometimes it's punt. So you roll the dice, punt. The other team roll the dice, punt. Well, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Not every drive is going to be a score. But there's a couple of games I enjoy playing, and those are very similar games. You roll for your minutes, how much time comes off the clock. Then you roll to see, which team's going to get control for a scoring chance or a penalty, and then you see the result of it. And then it's kind of, you do the same sequence over again, I've had some pretty memorable games with both of these ones. Like say the other night when I played the Bruins Rangers.
Yeah, we were having fun with that Minnesota Chicago game. All the penalties that weren't called, and all the, Stan Mikita got 2 goals, and then the empty netter at the end. And yeah, so you
Yeah,
saw a nice little story come together with that, and
yeah,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
yep. And that's the great thing about when you're playing the cards and dice stuff is that you are making up your own story. And that was kind of fun that Minnesota twice they had a major penalty and nobody was rated for that
They killed
penalty.
off. They killed off
So
the
I
five on
looked at
three.
it. I looked at it that somebody got clipped with a high stick and the ref didn't see it. And then there was a trip that the ref didn't call, and that adds some fun to the game because it's supposed to be a penalty, but no, they didn't get it. And so that's really kind of fun about that game there. And then shootout hockey, what's kind of neat about the Stone Cold rather, it gives you a little description like an attack 4+ scores, breakaway hard wrister nails the top corner. Over here, a point chance. Otherwise, a shot deflects high into the glass. So it gives you a little, astounding redirection in the crease for a goal. Long slap shot through traffic scores. So it's kind of neat, here on the chart. It gives you a little bit of flavor to it.
Flavor, yeah.
Like the second season from play. When I play that football game, it's like running back crashes through the middle. You check the rating. If he passes the check, he crashes through for a 5-yard game. Otherwise, he's caught in the backfield and trips and falls. And it's just kind of neat. Sometimes you get that little extra description. But so those are some of the quicker play hockey games. And I'm hoping I didn't go too fast and your head spinning on.
No, it was fun. It was fun to see, and it would be fun to sit down with one of those and look at a more modern team and just kind of get a flavor for who the players are. And then when you put it up on TV and you're watching, okay, yeah, I remember Stan Mikita for something besides the donut shop, or we remember who the guy was that scored the winner in the shootout, whatever that was.
They should be having the shootout hockey, the first one I showed you. They should be having the new season out soon because usually he releases that in May so you can play the playoffs. And for some reason he hasn't got that out yet. But he just put out a couple of new seasons over the last year, which are fun. He just releases them once in a while, and once in a while I'm like, hey, can you make this season? So he made 90-91, and I think that was because I suggested that, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, they're very similar, but they do different things. Shootout is more of a statistical game where you can roll for your shots on net. You'll get all your penalties. You'll get your full box score there. And the Stone Cold, which is the second one we played, that's more of a descriptive game, more of a highlight driven game. But you're not going to get your shots on net and all your penalties if that matters. You'll still have fun. It'll feel like you've been on a hockey game. You just won't get all the stats. And I play them both for different reasons. Sometimes I want my stats and I play this one. And sometimes I just want to have a fun little game like I did here and just, get my score, feel like I was at a game and just have my fun with it, not have to worry about stats.
So do you have something going on right now, like a project or a tournament or a season or a replay or something that you're doing? Or do you just kind of do one-offs when to scratch the itch when it rises?
Hockey, even though it's my favorite sport, I tend not to do long projects with hockey. Like with baseball, I'm actually kind of replaying the 79 season, and I'm using different games. I'm using Strat and Appa and, season ticket and, all these different games. And I'm playing like a game of the week type of thing. And then with Appa baseball, I'm playing all the 78 Red Sox games. Just the Red Sox, though. I'm just playing the Red Sox games in Appa. And then in season ticket, I'm playing all the Roger Clemens games in 1986. So I tend to do more of the longer projects with baseball because it's just more baseball's. I enjoy it's fun for me. Hockey's serious though, but I'll play a playoffs. But it's hard to play a whole season in hockey. It just takes a long time to do that. And so for me, it's just when I get the itch to play, I'll pull out.
You could do it with something like Stone Cold. You play, a day's worth of games, and you hit the one Blackhawks game of the day, and you move on. Yep. So you could. You could do it with something like that. You might not know who your scoring leader is at the end of the season or not, but
it will. They will simulate all the stats in the game for you, so you can keep an eye on the leaders in Stone Cold, which is kind of fun. What I need to do more of, and I started to do this. I got Player of the Game basketball from Downey. I don't know if you have that one,
I don't.
but that's a game. It's you have the two teams, and you figure out who's playing in the game. You can either roll the dice or put in the as played lineup, and then the long and short of it is each team has so many dice to roll for that game to get their final score. And you assign those dice to the players in the game. Obviously, Larry Bird gets more dice rolls than Danny Ainge, and he gets more dice rolls than, Do-Rod and all. You get on the list, Kite and all those guys. So, Kite might get one die roll, and he might toss in 2 points that game. Larry Bird might get 6 or 7 dice rolls. He might toss in 40, So with player of the game basketball is you roll a lot of dice and you get your final score, and you adjust for defense and home court and all that, and you get your final score, and it's kind of fun to see it because you roll from the bottom up. So you start with your worst guys, and then you get to the top to see, how many Bird puts in and how many Michael Jordan puts in or Kareem or whatever, and you get your final score, and it takes maybe 10 minutes to do the game. And so what I was doing is I was playing a little tournament, and I think I have 80. What season do I have? I don't know if it's 82, 83, whatever season I have for that. The Celtics won. I think 83, 84. I think it's the one the Celtics won. And so I took all the teams in the West and Pacific, whatever it was, and I'm having them play like a 1-game playoff to determine a winner. And then I'm going to do that with all the other divisions, you know what I mean? And then have a playoff. So what I've been trying to do is, because I always had it in my head, you either got to play the whole season or all the playoffs or whatever. And I see all these people doing these shorter products. So I'm going to have everybody play 2 games. And then I was like, that's a great way of getting your cards on the table and playing your different teams, is to go with shorter projects. So that's one of I was doing this. So now I can play every team that I have in that season. And some teams are just going to get 1 game. And some teams are going to, play best out of 3. But I can just kind of play a little tournament and just determine a winner without playing the whole thing, and so that's what I'm learning to do now, is kind of come out of my comfort zone of full seasons versus just a one-off for some fun. And so somewhere in the middle of these little, fun little medium projects, short to medium projects, and that's what I've been trying to do now is do that. Even with my football and, the app of football, which takes, a couple hours for me to play, I want to come up with take the best 16s of a season, just have them play each other. They're just for fun, But I always had in my head that I was always either a one-off and you're done with it and don't do anything with it, or you got to play all the playoffs of the whole season. But now I'm realizing, I don't have to. I can play a couple of games here and just have some fun with it. So that's what I'm looking to do. So Ron's doing the same thing with Action PC Hockey. He's playing the 1955 season or something like that with the original 6 hockey teams. And he's just playing. He's playing each team 3 or 4 times or something like that, and he's going to try to determine a winner. So I'm kind of learning that that's the best way to get teams on the table, is to don't overwhelm yourself with a huge project and just kind of play something little. And I need to do that with hockey. I really do. I need to get hockey on the table and do that. And that's why I did the Bruins and the Rangers the other night. That was my what if. If the Bruins got by Montreal and played the Rangers in the finals, and that went 7 games down to the wire, the last second of the game before it was decided in Game 7, and that was super, super fun. It really was, and I need to do more of that. But you were doing the basketball. You were doing a every Friday night you were playing a game, right?
Yeah, I was doing a scaled down league with Action PC basketball, and I was doing a relegation setup. So there was a gold division and a silver and a bronze, and with every season there would be a 20-game season to determine, and all the gold teams just played against the gold, and the bronze played against the bronze, and the silver played against the silver, and then the higher teams moved up and the lower teams moved down, and then you would do the playoffs. And every team made the playoffs, but the playoffs started in the bronze, and maybe 2 teams out of the bronze would make it up to the silver tier, and then they would
Neat,
play
yeah.
off, and then the top 2 would play against would go into the gold, and then whoever won that won the championship. And I was having a lot of fun with that. I was doing that on Friday nights when my wife worked regularly on Fridays, and her schedule changed, and so I haven't been back on that routine to get that regular Friday night gig. She pretty much always works Saturdays, and that's always been Heartland Championship Wrestling on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. So
Yep.
I'm faithful to that, and uh, I do a lot of just sort of casual fun things on my own that I don't put on the channel. But yeah, I don't. It's been a while since I broadcasted those Friday night games, and I would love to get back to that because people love that. People would. I still get people saying, "Hey, when are you gonna do basketball again?" D. Scott Howard loved those basketball nights, and whenever my life settles down to the point where I have a regular block of time that I can give to a YouTube broadcast like that, I want to get back to that.
I enjoyed that because I would sit here on Friday nights and I'd be working on the computer and either because I have a Friday league and a Saturday league I run, so I'd be either wrapping up the Friday league or getting ready for the Saturday league or here on the computer, and it was fun to have on, and listen to you play some basketball and the whole bit because you know a lot about the game, and it was fun learning about basketball listening to you. And I'm in a basketball mood right now, probably because the Celtics are in the finals. Not going to lie,
Yeah.
It's probably because Boston's doing
Sure.
well. But the player of the game basketball has been fun. I picked up Hoops PC. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
That's really fun. I wonder if I can show you that real quick. Oh, let me get to the chat room here, guys. I wasn't ignoring you in the chat room. It's just I had my screen minimized and I couldn't get at it. But where were we in the chat room?
Yeah,
Jeff,
what did we miss in the chat?
Cleveland baseball fan.
Dave, Swedish Jeff,
Jason, Gary was here. Look at the
Salvador America.
And Gary was rooting for the North Stars. They hung in there. They just got a lot of penalties, but we had a pretty good chat room going here. We still got a lot of people watching. Thank you for watching. So the referee's potentially blind, deaf, and dumb.
Hopefully this was fun for everybody to watch. Eh?
Yeah, just like real life NBA. Yeah,
it's like real life NBA referees.
Equalizer like Shootout hockey. Yes, Shootout was one of the first games I played, and I still play it to this day, and I absolutely love it. Doug, yep, with the makeup penalty, yep. And Phoenix Knight thinks both teams are cheating, and Steve Tower with the goons. Yep. No surprising it's chippy with these teams. Yep. And P-Jet comes by, and Gary was like Gump Worsley. Yep. Gump. And Shootout was so good from Fenner. Yep. And is Tim Donahue ref in this game? I'm not sure, but
NBA reference there.
And Chicago's up 3-0 in the 71 finals for Charles. And Fenner says he might love Stone Cold more than the Shootout more than Stone Cold. He loves Stone Cold. They're both fantastic games. They're very similar, but they do things differently enough to make them worth playing both of them. And they're both very inexpensive games. I mean, the Shootout game, you can pick up the game in a season for, I don't know, $15-20. They're really inexpensive. And the same with the Stone Cold. They're not that expensive games, and they're fantastic. Michael comes by.
Michael. I got to meet Michael the first time just a month or two ago in Milwaukee.
Oh, nice.
Good dude, yeah.
And Esposito's a monster in net. Yes, he is. He's my favorite goalie. I really do. And we were talking about Shootout, and one of the Seals goalie was a J. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Fenner's doing a Whalers replay. Nice. Bob's Tabletop comes by. Dave Little going back to Colorado.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see Bob in Colorado. Bob showed me the play hockey game, Hockey Blast, I think
Hockey
it's called.
Blast, yep. I went back to that, and I really like it now. I do.
Yeah,
I had a hard time with it. Now I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, hockey is fun to watch. I just don't have any attachments to the teams or the players to connect with.
That's kind of how I am with me with basketball. Aside from the Celtics, I mean, I don't know many people, but I can enjoy it without getting emotionally involved, And Cutter Historical likes the Stone Cold. Yep. And the Patrick Kane, the monster there. Yep. And Michael says Dice United is very similar, but there are strategy options for the PC. That's the soccer game, I believe. Yep. Adirondack Gus says he likes Strat Hockey Basic. Yep, that is not too bad. I need to go back to that. It's a lot of decisions in the Strat Hockey, which
Yeah, I played around with that a little and got confused, and so I didn't really connect with that game as much. But that'd be something to look into from somebody who has the voice of experience.
yeah, I think at some point when we
Brock
do this
Riblet,
again,
there's Brock.
Brock comes in here and Brian comes in here as well. What I would probably do is I'd set up a game of Apple hockey and show you how I play that. I love that. It might not be your cup of tea, but that feels like hockey. When you're rolling the dice to see if Patrick Kane
Yeah, it'll
gets it
be
in range.
interesting to see how that works. APA games in general, I just never connected with because you roll the dice and all you get out of it's a number, and then you got to take that number and go look at another chart. Whereas if you're playing strat baseball,
Yep.
212 is a home run.
Yep.
And if you're playing APA, 12 is a 13, and you got to go figure out what a 13 means
But
someplace else, and it just doesn't have the same connection.
once you get used to that, though, things start to make sense. Like now when I play Apple baseball and I roll and I look at the card and so I roll a 10. Oh, not 10, 16. I roll 16 and it says 13. I know that's a strikeout. I don't gotta go any further, But I have the chart open. I like the Apple football is the same way. You roll in the quarterback card and it's like, oh, that's a 22. And I just have my chart. Boom, 22. There it is. I just got quick at it and I enjoy that. I really do. And Thespian says he learned so much about the 70s Rangers. Yeah. Oh, this is my Brad Parker. Brad Parker's he's my favorite Ranger. Probably I think I got Orr, obviously, and Bork, and then probably Park of my three favorite defensemen. In fact, I got a Ranger shirt, and I want to put Park on the back. Cutter Historical. It's always fun to find a good PC game for certain sports. Al Red Sox fan did Stone Cold, so we gravitated to that. Yep. Let me, Dave, real quick, let me show you that hoops game here, if I can. I just picked this up. See if I can get this to work. Hoops PC. All right, let's see if we can get this to work here. All right, so we're going to maximize the screen. So I'm going to show you this again. So I'm going to show you my whole screen here. Share the screen, my entire screen. All righty, and so there's that right there. I might do this actually so you can see the screen a little bit better, okay? So we're not in the way because I'm not sure if we'd be in the way. All right, so we're going to play a game. So I have 82, 83. So we're going to play an unscheduled game. And we're just going to say it's the Celtics at the, what do you think, 76ers? How about that? All righty. So
Dr. J.
Good. Yep. So again, this is one of those you can put in whoever you want into the game, or you can roll the dice and let the computer figure it out. But we're going to go with what we got here. Maurice Cheeks is ineligible, huh? Oh, I want Maurice Cheeks in the game.
Yeah, put Cheeks in there. Yeah.
So we're gonna have this guy sit, and this guy sit, and this guy sit, and this guy sit. How about that? Does that look good? All righty. So this is the setup here. It's kind of neat. Let me put that over there. It might look a bit better. So this is the power forward. Again, this is something you're gonna have to show me when we do the basketball show. Is I don't know who guards who, but Parrish is here, and there's his points, there's his fouls. That's the rest he needs in the game, and that's his. He's defending the other center, is what it is. So let's play here, and we can do a jump ball. So we have Parrish against Malone. Now you can't roll your own dice in this one. You have to let the computer roll it. So we're going to roll it here. So he has that, and he has that. So Philadelphia wins the ball. All right. So now, if you read down here, it's going to talk a little bit about what happened. So the jump ball. Visitor die is a 6. Home die is a 9. Philadelphia has control of the ball. So now we're going to play. So now it brings up this right here. So Bobby Jones has it, and he's going up against Larry Bird. Now what happens, I think, is on the fast action card, it says the power forward has the ball. Okay. And then what we do is down here it says offense 9. So I think this is like the other side of the fast action card that it shows you. So we go to the offensive card, and the roll is a 9, and a 9 is between 6 and 10. So it's an outside chance if you follow that.
Okay.
So, and again, I don't know much about basketball, and I've only played this a few times, but I'm following this, and I'm really enjoying this
Yeah.
game. So we're going to
Bobby
roll
Jones is going to shoot.
for the play result, and it's a 44, an 8 rather. So that says it's a basket, so I think that's going to be good. And so he puts it up, and it's 2-0 Philadelphia, and Bobby Jones shoots and he scores. All right, so
Take that, Larry Bird.
yeah. So now we're going to play, and so it's going to be the power forward and offense 5. Okay, so he's going against Bobby Jones off the offensive card, and we roll the 5 is going to be the outside chance. So Bird posting up. Bird puts this up, and it's good on the 7. So, wow. So Bird with a 7 hits that basket, and now we're tied up at 2. So it's going to be the shooting guard.
Yeah, now Bird's talking a little trash. You think you got me?
I'm
going to eat your lunch tonight.
So now we have Andrew Toney, who's the shooting guard, and his offense 9. So it's going to be another outside chance. He puts this up, and it looks like he's fouled. So he's going to go.
Way.
Yeah. So Parrish commits the foul, and so he'll.
Parrish.
Yeah. So it says down here. I think
I thought that was going to be a Danny Ainge foul because Danny Ainge played professional basketball for 16 years, and never once did he ever commit a foul.
I like that. Johnny Most used to say that. When if you've ever heard you must have heard of Johnny Most, right? He was like that.
Danny Ainge was the biggest cry. He cried about everything.
Oh, yeah. But when you listen to Johnny Most, it would be when he ranked on a few guys, and he'd be like, and he goes, and he's crying. He's been in the league 13 years, never committed a foul. he used to rank on the guys. It was great. So what I like about this game is you're rolling the dice, but the player card comes up. And now this is another cards and dice game, but this is the PC version. And so we're gonna roll, and a 6, it's good. So he makes the first one. Now he comes up. Let's roll for the second one. And that's good as well. So Andrew Toney hits both, and it's 4-2. And then all the stuff is over here. You read all about it over here in the little box. I like this game. So let's play now. So we flip the card, and it's the shooting guard. So Ainge with the ball, guarded by Toney. Offense 3. So this time he's going to be inside. Okay. So 1-3 is inside, 4-10 is outside. And it says offense 3. So we're on the inside. Danny Ainge now puts this up, and that's good. And Toney's crying. He's crying about it. So it's 4-4. So now it's going to be the power forward, Bobby Jones against Bird. And now it says defense. So we're going to take a look at Bird's defense here. So we have inside, outside. I think this is fast break, and this is defense. So Toney going up against Bird. We roll, and he's going to make a pass. So now the pass goes to Bobby Jones. So he must get it back. So I think the pass goes to maybe power forward, maybe. So let's see what he does here. And this is going to be
so they swing it around. They swing it back into Bobby Jones, and he's got another look against Bird.
Yeah, on the inside this time, and another pass. Now, I think after so many passes, there's a 24-second violation. So let's see what's going to be here.
Yeah, in Stratomatic, it's 3.
So we'll find out here. So Bobby Jones is a pass, and no one qualified for the possession, and it goes to Moses Malone. So let me see. Possession from the next fast action card is his center. Okay, and it's going to be offense. So even up here, it tells you a little bit of what's going on. And so it's going to say no one qualified for the X10, which is like a superstar, I guess. He's an X4. So you flip the card, it's going to be the center, and he's going against offense 7. So he's inside. So Malone going up against Parrish and turns the ball over. Yep. So Malone turns the ball over. So now it's going to be flip the card. It's a power forward. So Larry Bird coming down, looking for the outside shot on Bobby Jones, and he is fouled. Now I'm trying to see who the foul's on over here. Loose ball. Okay, so it looks like loose ball foul, offensive center. Let's see what the call's going to be. Julius Irving. So, maybe this is right here, defensive center. Maybe that's who gets the call. I'm still, like I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Irving's the small forward, so there must be someplace else where they.
Oh, small forward, yeah. Maybe here.
Determine that.
Maybe right here. That says SF right there. Maybe that's the follow. I still haven't figured out all the fast action cards. I just kind of click and play and enjoy it, and I broadcast it. But
Yeah.
okay. Now, at any time, I can substitute guys in over here at any time I want. But we're going to go back and just kind of play the game. So here we go. So Bird at the line. First one is good. And Bird at the line. And the second one is good. So Boston leads 6-4. And that's how this game plays. And I've been enjoying this. I really have. It's, and I like how it's got the matchups here on the screen. I like how they got a mini box score here. At any time I can come over here and check my full box score, my play-by-play.
Yeah, let's see what the full box score looks like. Show me the full box score.
There we go. How about that?
Yeah, so you got your shots, your threes, rebounds, assists, turnovers, fouls.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Yeah. Inside plays, outside plays. So it breaks it down really nice, I think, Again, I don't know much about the basketball stuff here, but I think I know what most of this stuff means. So Bird, one field, he's got a couple of free throws. So how many points? Oh, he's got how many total points does he have?
He's got 4 points. Yeah, he hit a basket and 2 free throws.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see the story because Bobby Jones scored on him on the first possession, and that ticked him off. And now Bird's wanting to take over the game and get in everybody's face.
So we got the scoreboard. They got a bigger scoreboard here if you want that. The play-by-play of the game. So if you want to follow along what happened, you can save it and print it. It's kind of neat. What else? Gameplay mode. Oh, we can automatically play it to the end of the game if we want. We can computer substitutions. I do like. You can change your pop-up delay, your player fatigue. You can use it or not. You can play with 4 shots. You can have some momentum. There's a few different things in here.
And this all comes from a tabletop game.
Yep, this is the PC version of the tabletop game. So we can select a player here. And we just take a look at him here. And I think actually if you double click on him, it shows his card, his replay stats, his actual stats. This does a nice job. It really does. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying
game.
It's very smooth. I love the cards, how they pop up, and I like learning about. Okay, now I read down below. It's defense, so I'm reading off the defense here. So Irving going up against Cedric Maxwell. We're reading off the defensive card, and it's going to be a steal and a fast break. And so the shooting guard, fast break shooting guard. Okay, fast break shooting guard. And so Ainge coming down on the fast break, and B plus foul. So I think there might be a basket plus a foul, right? Yeah, that's 8. So Ainge is fouled, basket counts. So Ainge will come to the line, and good. And it's now 9-4 Celtics. And I've been enjoying this so much.
Oh yeah, this has got a real nice flow to it.
It feels like basketball. I don't know. I saw somebody playing. I said, this is fun. I'm in a basketball mood. And I said, this is going to be fun because I can let the computer handle a lot of the substitutions and things like that. If I want to get involved, I can. But I love reading the results off the cards. It really does feel like a card game, because you're flipping the fast action card and it's telling you like what's happening in the game. So I'm following along and I'm really, really enjoying it, And Kind of Historical says this is similar to PC replay basketball. A little bit. I like that one too. I like PC replay basketball too. Yep. And Doug says he has the cards and dice version and he likes it a lot. He didn't know there was a PC version.
So is this is called Hoops PC? So is just Hoops the name of the
card
game, or what's the name of the card game?
I think it's Hoops, and it's by ASG. If you know ASG games.
Okay.
ASG
heard the name.
Yeah. They do the They have a bunch of stuff on ASG games. I'm trying to think what I think they have the golf game from ASG. What's the name? ASG Golf. I think that's what it's called. I like that. So ASG sells the tabletop game, and the Hoops PC is sold by somebody else on their own website. So there's but it plays
I
so
see.
nice. It does. It does. And on the Delphi forums, it's all under Hoops PC, so you can talk both cards and dice and PC. And somebody sent me the logos and the player pictures, so I dropped those into the folder, and it finds them automatically. And I'm enjoying it. As you can see, I love following along on the cards and dice, no matter what game I play. If I can follow
Yeah.
along, when I get lost, I don't know about you, but when I play a game, especially a computer game, and I get lost, I just don't like sitting there clicking. I want to follow it. Okay, who's got the ball? Okay, this is why he has the ball. He shoots it. This is what happened. Good or no good. Who gets the rebound? I want to know why and who gets the rebound. And the same with the hockey. I want to know who's taking the shot and why. And that's why, okay, this guy gets it. I follow along. If I can follow along, I really like it. And Doug says, yeah, hoops on ASG games. Okay. Thespian says, best basketball I played is Status Pro back in the 80s and 90s, but he's digging the Strat PC basketball. Ron really likes the Strat PC basketball on the computer. He really likes that.
Yeah, I spend hours and hours and hours every year with Strat PC basketball. So, yeah, that's been my go-to for a long, long time.
I enjoy it. And I was liking the animations, and then all of a sudden something happened to my game, and the animations died on me. And I don't know why. It'd be like the guy would take the shot, and the ball would be like, boom. And it's like, wow, what happened? It used to be like, boom. It was set up to fast action, and now so something happened in that game that messed it up. I know Al couldn't even get it to work on his computer anymore.
Yeah.
He was
Well, yeah.
frustrated with
I
that.
mean, none of the Stratomatic games have any kind of value for graphics. It's just all,
Right.
we're going to take the card game that we've been producing since 1960, whatever, and
Yeah.
put it on the PC so that you can, play the card game on the PC, and they don't do anything with graphics, and I don't trust them to do anything with graphics. I just play
Yeah.
the game that's in
But it
front of
was
me.
fun seeing the guys with the ball moving the ball around. I enjoyed that. It gave me a little bit of a graphical view. Action PC since has gotten a lot better with their basketball game and even their hockey game, with the chalkboard. But
Yeah,
I
with
bought the
the
Stratton
chalkboard.
many years ago, and I enjoyed watching the ball move around. And then all of a sudden, they didn't. Oh, ID stops by. We talking about your favorite game?
ID gesture. Oh yeah, good old Stratomatic.
And
ID gesture, my man. Hope all is well.
Glenn says you can flip the fast action card on your own. Under the fast action, they have a back and forward button. And yes, they do. I'm looking at that. Yes. So you can, yep. So you can kind of see what the fast action
Oh,
card was. Yeah.
that's on the Hoops PC.
On the Hoops PC. Yeah, I just noticed it. So
Okay.
underneath the card, you can click around. Yeah, that is neat. I'm very impressed with this Hoops PC game. And I know I keep talking about here, but I just like it. I do. I kind of like the game. It plays really nice. It's not overly complicated. It does things for me. It's a Dave basketball game. It really is. It really is. And Doug says they have college teams as well for hoops. Okay. And that was fun. But yeah, but I've been in the basketball mood. The player of the game from Downey. In fact, I think they just released a new season. So I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna play along with the NBA Finals with the hoops there. And I think I might do the same with the fast play hockey games they have there too. Play up the finals. Should be kind of fun. And ID says it's good to see Dave Little.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always good to
Oh,
see
you're too
Dave Little.
kind.
Dave Little's fun to have here. We had Dave Little on the show a long time ago. We need to get him back on and talk some basketball again.
Anytime you want me.
Oh no, the Panthers are up 2-0 on the Oilers. Kind of a bummer, actually. I was kind of hoping to see the Oilers take, but who knows? Maybe it'll go 7. Maybe that series will go 7.
I have a hard time getting my head around hockey being played in Florida and Arizona and Texas and places like that.
I do too.
Those aren't hockey towns.
I'm an old school guy. I think that there should be a line drawn across the middle of the country, and you can't play professional hockey below that line. I'm kidding.
Yep.
I'm half kidding, of course, but
I mean,
I'm half kidding, but I know what you're saying. That you just think hockey, you're all bundled up in the coats, and you're going in the snow and the winter time, and it's just, and then you see people with like sandals and tank tops going into hockey rinks. It's like, oh, this ain't hockey, you know.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, it says something about that. I agree. I agree. Every time they put a team down in the South, it's like, really. But let me tell you, someone's played hockey his whole life. There's nothing like playing hockey in the summer. It's just you don't have ice on the road. It's not canceled for snow. You go in the rink in shorts. You play your game. You come out. It's 80 degrees. I love playing in the summer. I do, because there's nothing worse than having to go out when it's 0 degrees and it's a blizzard to go play hockey. It's just not inviting. But when it's nice out, it is kind of fun, you know. And ID's down
Well,
that way
two
too.
opinions. Hockey should not be played south of the Mason-Dixon line, and football should not be played indoors.
Really? You don't like the domes?
No, well, I mean, of course, I didn't play football, but nothing was better than watching, the Minnesota Vikings playing in a
Oh,
blizzard with
yeah.
the Green Bay Packers. I mean, how much fun was that to watch? I would never go sit in the stadium for that, but
No,
that's
no, yeah.
football.
I picked
This
up
business about being under a roof on AstroTurf in a $1 billion stadium with a $250,000 scoreboard and that sort of, or $250 million scoreboard. That's for pansies.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on old football, and I ended up picking up 1975 up for Apple football because again, I would say Apple football right now. Apple football is
The
probably my
steel
favorite
curtain.
game, and just watching those Viking games and the Steelers games and the Oilers go into Pittsburgh and things like that, and just there was one video it showed, and I don't know what year it was, if it was 74 or 70, whatever it was. And they had the flamethrowers on the Minnesota field trying to
Yeah,
unfreeze the field. And
that's football.
I now
We
let
don't
me
need no stinking dome.
now there. I don't know if this is a Mandela effect thing or if I dreamt this or if this really happened. But there was a game. Now, hear me out. And anybody that's watching this, see if you can double check this for me. There was a Vikings game. It was late in the game, and it was a freezing cold day, being cold day. And I don't know if it was in Minnesota or where it was, but it was. I remember watching as a kid, and Bud Grant, okay, the Vikings coach, right? He's on the sidelines, and all the guys are bundled up, and it's freezing, and the time's running out, and the Vikings are losing. And I remember he took the team off the field and went into the locker room. And there was still time on the clock. Okay. And the announcers were saying, well, what would happen if the defense recovered a fumble? Because the Vikings were on defense. It's like, what would happen if the Vikings recover a fumble? And the other guy's like, well, I think the defense would just have to play offense. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it was a preseason game. It couldn't have been preseason because it was freezing out. But there was a game that I remember Bud Grant and the team. It was so cold they left the game and left the defense out on the field, and the other team was probably just running out the clock. And I would think it wasn't a close game. But somebody check on that and find out if Bud Grant actually took his team off the field one time because it was so cold and let the defense out there by him. Now, if somebody get hurt, I don't know if they kept any spares or not, but they were just running out the clock. He says, we're done. And I remember him leaving the field, and it was on TV because I remember the announcer saying, what would happen if they got the ball back? And they'd say, well, the defense would have to play offense. And that was 70s football, you know?
That's crazy. Yeah.
ID thinks I got hit in the head too many times. I'm gonna find out about that. I'm gonna look up, did Bud Grant ever leave the team off, you know? Blizzard games and football. Yes, the snow games are awesome. Too much snow is a little too much, but a little snow is kind of fun. You know, enough to make it difficult. But I did like that. But when I watch those old 70s games, and even when I play in the tabletop here, I enjoy when I play the 70s teams, I picture the mucking and the grinding. You know what I mean? I do. I enjoy that very
Yeah.
much. Do you play any football
The
games?
purple people eaters.
Do you play any football?
Occasionally. Second season.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice run with second season. That's probably my favorite. And the thing I did was I would play a game of the week on second season, and I would play the rest of the week's games on Fast Drive Football or whatever the Downey equivalent of that is, the
Game
drive-by
winning
drive,
drive. Game winning
game-winning
drive.
drive.
Yep.
So you get all your standings, but you only have one, prolonged, game each week, and so you get the game going, you get the season going, kind of in time with the regular league, and it's nice to keep up because you're doing playoffs when they're
Hmm.
doing playoffs. I am not a player on the tabletop who plays for speed. Um, I like to just sit and enjoy the game, and if it takes me 2 days to get through a football game, play half the game on Saturday, half the game on Sunday. I'm not going to stress over that because this is supposed to be relaxing, and I'm just going to take whatever
That's
time
the
to
one
relax
thing.
and enjoy
That's
it. If I
the
get
one
burned
thing.
out, I'm going to go do something else. And
Yeah. I really have turned a corner with that because I wouldn't play long games. And, people always ask you, how long does this game take to play? And when I started playing the 49 Quick Dex football from Grand Fines, and then I started playing Apple football, those games were taking me 2.5 hours or so to play, sometimes 3 hours to play. And I couldn't believe that I was taking that long to play a game. But like you said, I wasn't right. I was having such a good time
yeah,
that time didn't matter. It didn't matter that these games were taking me 3 hours because I was enjoying them so much and just watching them play out and enjoying every play. And whether it was a good game or a bad, I just enjoyed it so much. Again, I was in no hurry. It would stay on my table a couple of days, and when I finished it because it was just so fun. I wasn't in a hurry. So I'm the same way with that. And I'm glad I played those games because now I can play some other games that I thought were long, and now after playing the football games that are super long, these other games go so much faster. ID has a hockey question. Who do you think the best college basketball you ever saw? No, it's obviously a
the
basketball
best the
question.
best player. The best college basketball player in my memory was probably Bill Walton, and that was like at the very beginning of my basketball experience because when Bill Walton played at UCLA in the early '70s, I would have been about 8 years old or so, and you weren't allowed to dunk at
Really?
that point in time. And so in the national championship game, Walton stood under the basket and they threw the ball up to him and he would just get it and drop it over the basket. And he was like 21 out of 22 from the field that night. And nobody could stop him for anything. And I think that's the single greatest performance I've seen in a college basketball game because Bill Walton just dominated. Now Kareem was, or Lou Alcindor was earlier than that, and I wasn't old enough to really pay attention to Lou Alcindor's college career, so he may have been, at that level. But the best college basketball player in my memory was Bill Walton.
Interesting. What do you think about today's game versus the 70s and 80s basketball?
Yeah, it's just two different animals. It's taken a lot of adapting for me to appreciate, and it's a lot more analytics driven now. Shooting a 3 pointer is statistically a very valuable thing, even if you're going to miss most of them because it's worth 3 points.
Right.
And it's taken me a while to adapt to that style of play because I also played a lot of basketball when I was a kid. I played basketball all the way up through I was 40 years old when I had to give it up. But the way I learned to play the game was, when you're on the fast break, you attack the basket. When somebody shoots, you attack for the rebound. And
Hmm.
and now if somebody's on the fast break, everybody scatters, and you've got
Yeah.
one guy dribbling down the center of the court, and everybody else moving away from the basket toward the 3 point line, and that's completely different from the way I learned the game.
Right.
Both as a player and as a fan. And you look at the old Showtime Lakers. Magic would be running down the center of the court, and you got James Worthy running down one side of the court and Byron Scott running down the other side of the court, and somebody's going to get a layup out of this deal, and
Right.
maybe a slam dunk, unless you're playing Detroit and you're going to go for the layup, and Bill Lambier and Dennis Rodman and Rick Mahorn are going to clean your clock, and again, that was a different era of basketball. Um, but it's and when you see what people are doing now with these 3-pointers, they're shooting these things further and further and further away. You've got people shooting from 25, 26, 28 feet, and making shots. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, people out there, launching these threes from the logos. Just really has changed the dynamics of the game, and it's, I'm a pretty old guy. I just turned 60, and this is not the way basketball was played in my day, but it's a new
I tried to watch it. There was
experience, and
the
it's an
Dallas,
adaptation.
whoever Dallas was playing in the conference finals, and I put it on one
Dallas
night.
and Minnesota, yeah.
Maybe it was. And it was late in the game, and they just went down, took a three, went down, and they were missing them. I was like, this is hard to watch, because I like to watch the Celtics and the Sixers and the Lakers and the Pistons, back in the day when they were going inside and they're turning the fadeaway jumpers and they're fighting, they're battling, and they're laying up. And now, like, all the actions way outside, there's nothing around the basket anymore. It's all these long shots, and that's not. I like the grind of the basketball, like getting it inside. Who's open? Who can I get the ball to? And now it's just run down, take the three, run down, take the three. And
I really enjoyed the series between the Pacers and the Pacers and the Knicks, because they play a lot more inside out. The way to get a good open three is to attack the basket and kick the ball out.
Yeah.
Not to just stand around and throw the ball around the outside of the basket waiting. But a guy like Jalen Brunson, who can muscle his way into the lane and create his own shots inside, or kick it out to somebody who's got a better look at a three because you've drawn in the defense. That's the style of basketball I prefer, as opposed to some guy like, probably my least favorite super these days is Karl Anthony Towns. He's like 7 feet tall. He's an athletic beast, and all he does is stand 25 feet from the basket and heave up 3-pointers, and son of a gun, if you're 7 feet tall, you should be
underneath,
7 feet from the basket.
Yeah.
Making stuff happen. But that's
I played replay basketball? Yes. I like it. I like to replay basketball. In fact, on my old computer, I was, 30% of the way through the Celtics, was it 84 or 85 season?
Nice.
I was playing every Celtics game, and that was during the COVID time, because I was on every night playing because I couldn't go to work. So I was on playing that every night in 2020, and I was getting through it. I was learning the game, and I was having a lot of fun with it. And then when that computer died, I never got the data off of it, so that season's gone. But I still have the game. I haven't played it as much. I was having some problems with it. That's why I stopped playing it. Now, that was on the old computer, whereas you would click the button to roll the dice, and it would stall, and it would take like 5-10 seconds to roll the dice. I'm like, it's supposed to be instantaneous, and it wasn't. So something was going on with my replay basketball. And so I haven't played that in a while, but I did enjoy it when I had it. I really did. I should pull it out again and see if it works any better on this computer. Fenner says he's missing Stone Cold and Shootout playthroughs. Yeah. Yep. Those are the two we played tonight, Shootout hockey and Stone Cold hockey. Those are the two we played tonight. And I think the Panthers won tonight. It was 2-0 last time I checked. Kind of a bummer. And Todd says, no matter what era, Mr. Little does a great job of announcing. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Doug says he likes the drive to the basket better. I do too. That was more fun, getting the twos instead of all the threes. That's the sad way I watch NBA basketball. Like I want the inside to mid-range game and the occasional three. I'm the same way. I like the occasional three, like when Bird or Chris Ford or Ainge would take the three. That was exciting, because it was hard back then, and but now it's not exciting anymore because it's just so much of it. It's just like, oh my god, it's just too much.
My favorite NBA player of all time was Reggie Miller.
Really.
And if you ever watched Reggie Miller play, he shot threes, but it was a war because there would be guys grabbing him, and he'd be running off
Hmm.
screens, and he'd run off 2 and 3 screens to just to get a shot off, and then he'd hit these ridiculous shots, and he was such a trash talker, and he'd be just pumping himself up and yelling at Spike Lee and yelling at Larry Bird, and he was in everybody's face, but that's what he did to get himself going.
Yeah.
In real life, he's a very easygoing guy, but on the court, he was just so emotional, and that was how he motivated himself, was by all of the trash talking, and he was just so much fun to watch. But it was a whole different era, just for him to get a shot off in that era with the grabbing and the play was much more physical, and he was a skinny little dude, but he was tough as nails.
Yep. And Doug likes Reggie Miller as well. Yep. It was fun. Like I said, I liked the old Cream skyhook. That was my favorite. You couldn't defend that. You just couldn't defend Cream and the skyhook. That was just fun to watch. It was good
Yeah.
times. But I love watching on YouTube. I go out and I get the Larry Bird videos when they talk to the people about Larry Bird, and they tell the stories, and they can tell them now, and they're like, Larry would they call a timeout, and Larry would go by our bench, and he would say, I'm going to get the ball right here, and I'm going to pop it in for the game winner right in front of you all. And they would come out, and they would give Larry the ball right in front of the other team's bench, and he had guys and he put it in, and he would score, and he would go, I told you. he would just the trash talking he would do. He's like, and he'd go to the other bench and say, Coach, you got anybody that can guard me at all? Anybody on this bench that can guard me? And he would
Yeah.
just say, but he backed it up. He backed it up. What was the one time? It was a playoff game, and he goes, I think I'm going to shoot left-handed all night. I'm like, what are you doing? It's a playoff game. He's like, I'm bored shooting with the right hand. And he was all night long left-handed, putting him in. They won the game. It's just like, man, there's trash talking, then there's backing up the trash talking, and that's what made it fun. But I enjoyed that. Like I said, I like my late 70s, early 80s basketball, right to the mid 80s. The Celtics were good, and they had those. Dr. J was in there and the whole bit, and it was a fun time. The 3-point just came into play at that point. I don't know when that first had to come. Was that like 82? No, 80. Was that 80? The 3-point?
Yeah, somewhere late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
Yeah, because I remember Chris Ford taking a lot of those shots, and Bird took a few, but not many people took them. But it was fun because there's not a lot of room between the 3-point line and the out of bounds, and they used to run out, dribble the ball, and just find that little spot at the end and put it up there. That used to be fun, and now that's all they do, and it's just not quite as fun anymore.
Yeah, it's a different game.
It is. It's kind of fun. But I've been in, like I say, at this time of year, May, June, for some reason I get in a basketball mood, and that's how I discovered regular season basketball a few years ago. Was this time of year I was dying for basketball, and I stumbled on that game, and I still like that and still play that. In fact, I got that right over there on the top of my shelf over there, right there. That's my regular season basketball. I really like that. Then, like I say, discovering the Hoops PC game. Love that now. And the player of the game from Downey. I had that years ago. I bought that 4 years ago, and I played it and I didn't like it. And then I found it on my hard drive and I pulled out again. And now it's like, boy, why didn't I like this game back then? This is kind of fun. I'm enjoying it. So I like to play some games like that because basketball and baseball, Dave, are two games that I don't know much about. And so I can play them at such a casual level. And that's what I enjoy about that. And then some people go crazy the way I play these games. They're like, "Oh, why are you doing that? You can't do that." It's like because I'm just playing now.
It's a game. Do what you want.
My hockey and my football, I take a little bit more serious when I play because it's like, okay, that would never happen, and you can't do this, and why are you doing that? So I take that a little bit more serious. But the the baseball and the basketball, I just have fun with, and I'm kind of glad I don't take it so serious, because some people just take it too serious. It's like, how do you have fun? How do you have fun if you're that serious? So, but anyway, yeah. So, any other questions for Dave before we wrap things up here? We've been going for a couple
No,
hours
this
tonight.
this has been fun, Dave. Thanks so much for hosting and putting me on tonight. I just thought it would be fun to try something new and check out a few hockey games. And this was fun for me, and I hope it was fun for people to watch. Probably I probably look like an idiot for all of the serious hockey fans out there that understand the game, and I'm just trying to figure it out from the outside looking in. But yeah, thanks for the night. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the games we played tonight are, you don't necessarily need to know about hockey to play. They play along pretty well. And well, thank you so much here for coming by and supporting the show. Thank you so much. ID, good to see Dave Little. Yep. Yep. And yeah, so like I said, if you ever do play hockey, whether it's PC or cards and dice, and you want some help, let me know, and I'll come on with you, and
Yeah.
we can go through it and just have some fun with it. And I'm not an expert on some of these games, but I have played a lot of them, and I have an idea to get you started and get you up and running.
Yeah. No, tonight was very informative. It was a lot of fun.
So, and Salvador America comes by. Yeah, we had a good time tonight playing some hockey. Yeah, we did. And yeah, I just those are the games that I play when I get 15 minutes or so, and I can bang them out real quick, whether it's on the computer or cards and dice, and they play pretty close to the same. They play pretty close to the same. Can have a fun time with that. Oh boy, getting some super chats in here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but thank you, people, for coming by and supporting the show. And but yeah, so I'm doing the basketball now. I need to get back to the hockey stuff though, because it is hockey season. So I need to get the hockey on the table here. So, and anyway, but thanks to everybody that came by tonight, and we shall talk to you all later. Dave, thanks for coming by.
All righty.
And we'll
Thanks,
talk to you
Dave.
soon. All right. Thanks, people, for coming by, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.